Hey guys, Kane here. I've got another 1v1 for you. It's going to be between Emblis and Spartacus, this time on the map Red Comet. We're going to see Emblis here on the west side with the Red Trunks and the Cloakybot Factory Strike Commander as well. Over here on the east side, we're going to see this Green Light Vehicle Factory coming from Spartacus, opening up with a couple of scouts and then heading right into a constructor. So sort of an economic opening. Conversely, it looks like just glaives so far coming out from Emblis. Now, as far as the LO ratings go, it looks like Emblis has a little bit of an advantage here. It's pretty close in my estimation, but should still be a good game, I believe. And this is one of my more favorite maps. Certainly a very raider heavy map, just given how much metal there is here. I feel like, at least in the early game, there's a lot of value you can get by raiding. But anyway, initial raid here coming in from Emblis, almost just a scout. The single glaive has already taken out the radar tower. Going to be working on this constructor as well. Ultimately does take down the constructor, does get taken out by the commander as well, but I mean that was an excellent scout. Really, that was just one glaive and it made great cost. And there is a second glaive parked here to the south, and it looks like a third glaive up here to the north as well, lying in wait for either a constructor or a chance to raid, probably around the back here. It's defended by this LLT, but still something of a vulnerable mix there. Conversely, we are seeing Spartacus' own scout coming up from the north, getting chased away by a glaive here from the south side. It looks like Emblis did ultimately pick up on that and managed to get it out of the base before it could deal any damage. Four more glaives coming in here, in addition to the ones lying in wait here on the sides of the base. So, and it looks like they're actually going to be flanking up north around this crater as well. See here, probably heading down into the base somewhere around here, or trying to get into the back, which would be absolutely perfect with this metal extractor right here. Only very lightly defended by the LLT, as you can see. So ultimately, it looks like they're going to be, well, just sort of hanging out for a second, it looks like, and quite grouped up. Actually not being line moved, so that might be something that Emblis maybe just forgetting to do for the moment. But, oh boy, running right in here to a pretty heavily defended area of the base. Going to get chased down by these Scorchers. Just one of these glaives makes it out alive, and he's going to be, well, hunkering down in this crater, which is actually pretty genius because these Scorchers can't get in there. So, well, I'm going to have to remember that. Yeah, because these Cloakybots, of course, can get into the crater no problem, which is a nice place to regenerate, but still not that great of a raid to follow up his really successful initial one. He lost, let's see, 3 glaives here, and he just took out 1 radar tower. So certainly not a favorable trade. Spartacus has the opportunity to pick up an extra 100 metal, which is, you know, most of a Scorcher, I think. Well, 2/3 of one anyway. This is a pretty intimidating pack of glaives, though, coming out of Emblis' factory, heading straight across the map. I should mention both players chose the center spawning position, so these are cross spawns with no terrain whatsoever in between them. These glaives are essentially just fight moved right over to the right side, and well, that's all you really need to do. Focusing down the LLT, it's going to open this up a little bit for them, but the Scorchers dive in. The glaives need to be trying to maintain more distance, but letting the Scorchers dive in ultimately are able to take them out. Encountering another LLT here, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 glaives still remaining. A third Scorcher coming in from the factory, able to take out 1, 2 of glaives, just 1 glaive remaining. 10% constructor, looks like it's going to go down ultimately. And this glaive now trying to give the Scorcher the runaround to deal some more damage. I don't know, how was that raid, you guys? I think lost, wow, 7 glaives here. Picked up 1 constructor, 1 metal extractor, and two Scorchers? 2 Scorchers. So, I don't know, I think it's a wash, but then if you factor in there's 300 metal sitting here as well, I think ultimately that's a win for Spartacus, right? Assuming that he remembers to reclaim. He actually has left this reclaim here behind as well, despite having the energy to use it. But here we go. We do see him reclaiming now, so it should pick up for him pretty quickly. Another large pack of glaives for just how economically Spartacus has been playing. He has, by my count, 3 constructors out on the field. 2 right now. Had 3 right before that last raid. But conversely, we're seeing just pretty much pure glaives coming out of Emblis. I mean, that's it. Really just glaives. And has just 1 constructor out on the field heading out to the south is all. Economically, Spartacus is actually just in a minor lead, having been raided out just a moment ago. Actually, Emblis just now picking up, so sort of going either way depending on the reclaim. Spartacus does have much more reclaim available to him, but ultimately, these glaives are going to suicide now, right here into this pack of no, that was actually Scorchers suiciding in the glaives. But they were able to take down quite a few glaives, but now there's 300 metal here sitting available for Emblis as well. couple of Scorches now trying to creep around in the north. Pretty poorly defended, well, not poorly, but lightly defended. Just one glaive here, sort of on guard duty. Not sure if he's going to be able to take on both of these Scorches, almost certainly not. In fact, it looks like these Scorchers aren't even going to be heading all the way there. No, they'll be giving him the runaround here. Just barely slipping by him. This glaive now trying to chase him to catch up. Ultimately, he gets kited and taken out. As far as the approach here to the south, it's not terribly well defended, but I wouldn't say that this metal extractor is too vulnerable. Oh, here we go. There are actually 4 glaives in position. 1 tick lying in wait, and then an LLT as well. These 2 Scorchers parking here. The tick tries to advance, but ultimately gets taken out by the Scorchers before it even gets close. These glaives running in now, trying to deal some damage. The Scorchers pinned up against the wall, but ultimately they do want to get as close to the glaives as possible. These glaives suiciding right into this heat ray, just getting as close as they possibly can, which is, I mean, of course, not the right move. And this Scorcher does ultimately get away, takes down a couple of the glaives as well. More reclaim sitting here in the back of Emblis' base, and trying to take down this metal extractor as well, but stopping for too long. These glaives will pick it off, no problem whatsoever. 3 glaives here to the south. Actually, this is quite a few. This is 5 glaives to the south of Spartacus' base. A couple of Scorchers coming to check things out. Going to be picking up one of these glaives completely out of position, takes it out, no problem. They dive into this pack with the other 3. The other 3 now try to kite. The Scorcher needs to retreat because it's super low health. There we go, able to get back, and now this full health Scorcher chasing them back into the crater from whence they came. Now seeking to regenerate before probably raiding again. And this is, I can't say it enough, the absolutely perfect hideout. If I'm Spartacus, I would be putting up a defender right here, you know, just to deny them the ability to sit here and regenerate like this. They're already back up to full health. They could head out again. And you could put, I mean, really as many glaives as you wanted to in there. And 4 Scorchers now, still going to be hanging out pretty close to the base. Just 1 LT defending the factory. Economically, though, we can see that Spartacus is starting to pull ahead, miles ahead. He's actually 13 metal per head. Metal per second ahead of Emblis at this point, although I should mention he's actually behind in energy production, which means that overall he's actually behind in the amount of economy he can consistently spend. Both players are actually floating metal at the moment, so they'll need to both be building up more energy to keep up with, like I mentioned, the rapid rate of expansion necessary to keep up with your opponent on this map, just because of the density of the metal extractors here. And we are seeing a bit of a strategy change from Emblis. You see this massive line of Rockos looking to engage these stacked defenses here at the front. And the skirmisher ball, of course, is the commander's natural enemy, and so this commander is certainly very vulnerable. He is level 2, 2500 HP. I mean, not as durable as you might like. It's unfortunately, these Rockos are going to be bunched up, and so between their own death explosions and the splash damage of the defenders here, quite a few of them are going to go down to that simple mistake. As Tick here coming out, lying in wait, trying to bait these Scorchers to coming in too close, and then these Rockos will be able to clean them up no problem after that. So nice combination of units there, Ticks plus Rockos. You have to be a little bit deceptive and try to lure your opponent. It does look like Spartacus not going to be diving into this massive ball of Rockos. It's really pretty amazing. Now just 3 more Ticks coming out, and then it looks like a bunch of glaives now as well from Emblis. So I'm trying to build up a bit of a composite force. It looks like he has a pretty good plan as far as his unit composition. These Rockos doing what they can to sort of hit and run against this line of defenders. Actually, being a line of defenders rather than LLTs, I think you could do great with a split attack issued here and just tanking the initial salvo, and I think you could clean it up in just 1 or 2 volleys. I don't think ultimately you would take that much damage to the defenders, but ultimately it wasn't executed that way. This commander's doing an excellent job with his light particle beam to pick off these Rockos. That entire line of Rockos has now gone down. This commander is stunned out, but there's nothing here to follow up. Just 10% health. It's going to be stunned for 8 more seconds. We've got everything but the kitchen sink coming in here trying to clean it up. More Ticks, more Rockos. These Ticks are going to be denied by the LLT every single time. And unfortunately, that Com, or fortunately, depending on who you are, that Com is able to walk away. Now back up to 12% health. Scorch is coming out to defend. Absolutely the right call against this line of Rockos. Not the best. I don't know. I don't really agree with the unit composition that was chosen there initially. The Rockos. I mean, kind of for taking out the LLTs, but just pure Rockos is always a questionable choice. You leave yourself so vulnerable to raiders. Typically, I like to go Rockos and then a smattering of warriors as well. And these Scorches now coming in to clean up so nicely, like I mentioned. Getting stunned out by the Tick there, unfortunately, but these 2 Rockos, or Scorches rather, did quite a bit of damage. I have no idea how Emblis is just pumping out Rockos like this still. He is mixing in some glaives now, and warriors as well, to try and fend off sort of the the multitude of unit types that are being thrown at him by Spartacus. But let's see, economically, it looks like he is able to catch up at least with the reclaim that he has available, and there is quite a bit of reclaim here. It's hard to say who has decisive control over it. Actually, both players have their commanders right here, so this is very much a hotspot of the battlefield. At the same time, Emblis is trying to do the run by here with a couple of glaives now, just one remaining at very low health, but he does have a couple of completely exposed metal extractors here. Looks like he'll be able to take out at least one. Heading up to the northwest would get him a second one, but he doesn't, and ultimately gets taken out by the defender there. These Rockos continuing to suicide into the defenses here. Need to just pull back for a little bit, not waste any more ticks going into here either. These LLTs are going to take out the ticks every single time. Lay them defensively as mines, and you don't need to put them in your repeat build order, I think. At least not with this light of a build order anyway. A warrior is well coming out. I don't think the warrior is going to do much better against the stinger here. Ultimately, it's just going to get taken out in a couple of salvos. Yeah, there we go. It leads and gets taken out right away. These Rockos just hanging out right inside of the LLT range. This is not a very thoughtful approach. And we see here this commander is idling as well. Emblis could be on par with Spartacus's economy at the moment, just by hitting E and clicking somewhere around here with his commander. This is all out of range of the defenses from Spartacus. He's not doing anything. Ivan D even mentioning Emblis should switch. This won't work. It's suicide. It's nuts. He has some Zeus coming out now, which is kind of okay, but the stinger is I mean, it's just going to shut it down with one Zeus. Even with two Zeuses, I don't think you could get by the stinger with the LLT support. And a second stinger coming up now too. At the same time, Spartacus should probably be picking up some of this reclaim. He's building at 74. He has 50 metal per second coming in, and he's not even utilizing all of the reclaim. Emblis there just throwing in the towel, deciding the position was hopeless, but it wasn't Emblis. It wasn't. You absolutely had a chance. Alright, so here's what I think you needed to do. I mean, I had much better vision than you did, but just on this front right here, just right here, with a couple of stingers and a couple of LLTs, you build some glaives, you put them up north. You see there's, okay, LLT forest up north. Not a big deal. Oh, big group of raiders, so probably get some warriors up here somewhere. Probably some stacked defenses. But you head south, and what is south? There's a couple of defenses, but man, you get a pack of glaives and you could just run right through here. You would have no problems. Just go. I'm talking like 5 glaives, if even that many. And you pick off boom, boom, 1 more constructors, 3. So there's 5 metal extractors already. And I mean, maybe you get head off, but there is the air switch, I guess, which is pretty demoralizing. But I don't know, man. I feel like even up to this point, you still had plenty of options, and so this is just a classic case of myopia, which we all suffer from time to time, including yours truly. So unit composition myopia, and I guess battlefield layout myopia, like not scouting enough, not having enough information. If you had forward radar, you could see here just from a radar map that this is fairly open and vulnerable to a raider force, but let alone just actually sending something over there to check it out, you know. So there was tons of options, and he had such a great start, I thought, by picking off that radar and that constructor. But we saw some over-aggression as well from Emblis in the raider game. We saw that from both sides. So I can't really call either player out alone on that one. Both players were certainly guilty of over-committing to their early raids. I felt like they could have had, you know, much more value from the raids if they just pulled back, waited for a constructor to come out, you know, leave one behind at a couple of mech spots or something like that. Something less aggressive, but suiciding directly into the heart of your enemy's base is rarely a profitable idea. And then look at all this reclaim in the center. Either player could have taken advantage of this. If Emblis had done it, he would have been economically on par with Spartacus. But, of course, he had no way to know that. I did. So you can't make any judgments based on that. But anyway, interesting game. I really expected Emblis to take this one, but well, that's not what happened. So it's a nice little underdog tail. Look at the excess here from Spartacus, you dirty dog. So anyway, good game, both players. I really enjoyed that. If I missed anything or if you have any corrections, let me know in the comments. And other than that, catch you guys next time.